All right, and welcome to Everyone's a Critic. I'm your host, Johnny Gill, with my co-host, Sean Ellis. Sean, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
Episode 266, we're going to recap week 4. We're at the mid-season point.
Yeah, crazy.
We might quickly give our season grades of each team when we get to that. I'm going to go ahead and recap the games. We had some pretty decent games.
We did, man.
Pretty decent. Crunch All-Stars got the win, 91-81 over Top Dogs in our last game. Mo and Friends, the 7 o'clock game, went down yet again to Chances, 87-65, and Light Work, Hip Hop and Roll, the game of the night. We're going to get to that game in just a moment. 78-77, classic game. We predicted it would be a classic game, and they definitely did not disappoint. Now, for our 3 in the key, me and Sean are going to highlight the 2 winners tonight. We're not going to highlight any losing team, unfortunately. I mean, you probably don't want us to anyway. Normally when we do that, we don't say anything good.
No.
So, Light Work.
First one of the season, you called it.
First one of the season, I predicted. I felt like, they took enough beating. I felt like it was time for them to start, getting on track. Unfortunately, it had to come at the hands of Hip Hop and Roll, a team that's been rolling, no pun intended, a team that's been, that's had some success and really starting to, hit their stride, but they just picked a bad week. And I felt like the memories would creep back into Lightwork's head. Like, dang, this is a team we lost to. Dang, I remember this moment in the finals. I remember that moment in the finals. And there were a lot of moments in the game where you were like, they felt it slipping away. They started to come back. It was back and forth. And, ultimately they got the win. But it was a lot of that came with just making big plays down the stretch. Putting the pressure. They started pressuring full court. Speeding them up, trying to, they would speed. What they were doing was Lightwork was walking the ball up. I'm sorry, Hip Hop and Roll was walking the ball up the court. And once it got to about 19 seconds, boom, they would pounce on them, put that pressure on them, and then force them left, force them right. 8-second shot clock violation. 8-second shot clock violation. No, the second one they had was probably the biggest one in the game. That first one was kind of a momentum swing, but that second one just really, really, really hurt them. And then before you know it, turnover in the backcourt. They didn't even get an 8-second. They turned the ball over when it looked like they were about to get another one. Yeah. They come up with a loose ball, scramble for the ball. Then before you know it, bam, they get the ball. Alex flying down the lane, hit the Josh Smith dunk button on the old 2K. Remember Josh Smith? Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like it just
to tie the game too.
To tie the game, and it was just an epic moment. And these are the type of games that kind of catapult the season. I think Light Work, they got just what the doctor ordered right in the nick of time.
Right. I also think that as much as Light Work, shout out to Light Work because I've been giving you a hard time as a finalist to kind of start the season 0-3. You needed this win badly, and you got it against the team that beat you in the finals. So I know it was a huge win for you. But as much as it was a great win for them, Hip Hop and Roll's got to be kicking themselves in the behind right now because they also lost this game. They kind of gave the game away. They was up 7 with like a minute to go. I want to say up 5 with like 18 seconds to go.
Something like that.
And, you get the 2 bad turnovers, like you say, the 8-second calls. And then you put yourself in a position.
Missed free throws.
Well, missed free throws.
You got tight down.
Yeah, they just kind of tighten up. After Chase had a terrific second and third quarter, he's kind of silent in the fourth. He had some shots early in the fourth, and then kind of went silent down the stretch. They just didn't have not having Swift and probably not having Ricardo as those calming forces, and probably even Swift in the game right there. I just don't see him probably turning the ball over or getting those 8-second calls right there. If anything, he would have called a timeout or something before he just would have turned it over. So I think they kind of gave the game away, and they're going to kick themselves in the future because, again, like I said, these games this week were going to be tiebreaker games, I feel like. And I think this is a game with probably catapults to kind of get those guys going. And I can see them in Hip Hop and Roll having a similar record at the end of the season. And then, they have the tiebreaker over them now. So shout out to like I say, Light Work for basically getting their first win of the season in unbelievable fashion. Even though Alex, I mean, you talking about games that like You know, when you think about the free throws that they missed in the finals, they almost did that again with the final shot. As Alex went up there, missed the first free throw, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, we're gonna go into overtime now because they can't make free throws same way in the finals. They couldn't go up there and make a free throw and win the game. But luckily he was able to make the second free throw and put them up by 1. So
and then
it was a Cam. Yeah,
hip hop shot one 3/4 almost made it.
Yeah, it had a nice heave.
It was right on line. It was just a little too strong. If he took maybe just a little bit off, we talk about a whole other. It was kind of similar to Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, that's exactly what like it's Duke. Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. But shout out to Light Work, and hopefully hip hop could pick up, and we'll see what happens to him the rest of the season.
All right, and Sean, you had yours for 3 and key was chances.
Yes, chances. I didn't give them a hard time last week, but I definitely told them, hey, you guys, you gotta come back. After I kind of gave you a lot of love, you go out there and don't show up against Who's Your Daddy. You look bad. And but we did say Brian Bach and Ellis would never shoot that bad again.
Never.
They probably had one of their worst shooting games since they've been playing those hoops.
You know what, Sean? I looked at the numbers after that game. It was just the threes. They were 3 for 15 from 3. But shooting from the field, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. I think they ended up shooting like just one of them was at 40 and the other one was at like high 30. So it wasn't terrible, but it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad though. And so, and both of them shot well today. Plain and simple. Both of them shot well today.
Out.
Yeah, shot lights out. Mo and Friends couldn't contain them. Every time Mo and Friends tried to make a little bit of a run, both of them hit daggers right after that. They just plain and simple. You go down there and miss a layup, they hit a 3. Eric was being Eric. I'm pretty sure once we look at the stats again, he has another triple double. If he
easily.
Yeah, if he
might have had 20 rebounds tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he hit a ton of rebounds, ton of kickouts, a ton of taps to guys. He just a lot of passes in transition with guys and making big shots. He's just to do it all. He does it all for him. And I remember going out there looking at the start of the game, just like I was looking at the dogs that Mo and Friends had out there. I was like, chances might lose this one too. I'm just sitting there looking at the teams. You look at the teams, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, they came out fast. I think they jumped on them like 12-2, 12-4, and they never looked back. I think Mo and Friends led the whole game, not one time. The thing
because it was like 4-0 to start the game.
Yeah. So I think it was a wire to wire. I think they might have got to 4-3 or something like that, 4-2, and then it's just wire to wire. They kind of led the whole game. So chances, shout out to them. They just did everything well today. And again, I keep saying this, but Jerry and crew. I keep going with Jerry crew, and Jerry's not the only one I'm saying. But
now they was hooping today.
But they were just they did everything. If I say look at these stats, if I could tell you like all the intangible stuff like rebounds, offensive rebounds, finishing around the basket, making the extra pass, like
deflection.
They did everything. Like if you'll sit out there and watch, sometimes you can't tell the difference between Jerry and Ty. They almost like the same guy out there sometimes.
They do.
It's just like which one is which, and they just they did a little bit of everything. So when those guys are doing what they do, and they went above and beyond today. Yeah. I'm just saying, if I just say they score around 8 to 10 and get about 4 or 5 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists, like they're hard to beat. And I think they doubled all those numbers today.
I think one of them had 8 points in the first quarter.
Right, exactly.
Just going off. I was like, man.
And so when they're doing that, they're just gonna be hard to beat, man. It is what it is.
Okay. Now for our in their bag segment, we got 2 guys. One that we alluded to, Alex Mars. Monster game, as you see the stats here. He really just took over in the second half of the fourth quarter. There are a lot of signature plays that we can highlight. But let me tell y'all something.
Alex being Alex, man.
Alex is a lot to deal with. He's a jump shooter. When I say jump shooter, I mean jump shooter. He jumps extremely high. We haven't seen guys jump this high on the jump shot since T-Mac. Now, T-Mac jumps high when he shoots the ball.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Alex does. He jumps very, very high when he shoots. And he's very athletic. So even when he's not at like full strength on his attack to the basket, he still finished on the rim. He had one where he caught the ball flat-footed, went vertical, and still put it in with 2 hands, like without grabbing the rim. I was just like, this dude's just he's unreal. Like he's ridiculously athletic. So it's a lot to deal with. So he can score in a plethora of ways. If he's hitting a 3, it's over. Because the way he puts pressure on guys getting downhill, the way he gets to his spots in the mid range and the fadeaway, and just the tackle, even when he's just laying the ball up gracefully, he's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
So tonight was just the latest episode. Monster game for him. I'm pretty sure he had over 30.
Yeah.
Super, super efficient, and he was super aggressive in the fourth quarter. So I can understand why Lightwork was able to get this win tonight.
No, I don't really. There's not enough adjectives or even superlatives that we can really say about Alex and now his third season here at Ultimate Hoops. It's been really, really good, man. And truth be told, he'll probably be, if they weren't 1-3 right now, he'll probably be in the MVP talks.
Yeah.
He's just really been that good. He's been unstoppable. And you know what? Cam did a great job on the sections of the game. And to Alex's credit, he made adjustments in game.
Yeah.
A lot of players.
Because Cam was poking that ball out.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
And a lot of players can't do that. Once, somebody kind of has a defensive assignment and they have some level of success stopping you, a lot of players can't make that adjustment. Not in game. They might, the next time they play them, but like in game. And so, like I said, he was able to make some adjustments in game where I think, and like I say, Light was holding him too, like two very good defenders.
Yeah.
Two great defenders. Part of the reason why Hip Hop Bros as good as they are is because of the wing defenders they have. And they, like I say, Cam did a really good job on him. He had some success against Light, surprisingly. But again, against Light, though, he made a decision. I'm not trying to break you down off the dribble.
One move and go.
No, I'm one move, go, or I'm going to take you on that block and make you guard me down there.
I'm just going to shoot over you.
Yeah, I'm just shoot over you. And so he made the adjustments in game. And that's why, like I said, he had so much success today. My guy, though, that I'm going to talk about, he's a kind of a guy that doesn't get a lot of credit. And now this being his third or fourth Ultimate Hoops game now, Big Kelvin from Crunch, from the Crunch All-Stars.
Yeah, I've deemed him the, what did I say? From the Pacers. Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, yes.
Miles Turner
yes.
And he proved it tonight with the three-point shooting.
With the three-point shooting. He might hit. I know he hit 4 for sure, possibly 5 threes. And we've seen him score on the block, but he did both tonight. He hit by 4 or 5 threes, and you could tell the top dogs are looking at him like, all right, go ahead and let him shoot it. Splash that first one. All right, go ahead and let him shoot. Splash that second one. Let him shoot third. I'm like, dude, y'all not gonna get a hand up at least? Y'all not gonna run out at him?
He was rebounding, passing the ball.
Yeah,
he did everything.
He was in his bag tonight, man. He really got after him today, and they need some credit because I know we talked about some of the guys they have on the team. Like I said, they're allowed with their play.
Yeah.
Including Shannon. We don't even talk about Shannon that much.
And Shannon's like player of the week every week.
Yeah.
For them.
But again, they have so many different elements, and now you're adding Big Kelvin having the game he had. It's gonna be tough, man. And like I said, he had. I'm gonna say he had about 7 or 8 rebounds. I might give him 7. He had about 7 rebounds. We'll know. But again, the scoring inside and out today made him basically a nightmare, especially in the game. Like I said, they only ended up losing by 10. Only ended up winning by 10. So what he did there was crucial to their success. So shout out to Big Kelvin for definitely taking care of business and being in his bag.
And Kelvin, a little word of advice: you gotta go at Jeff right at his chest.
Yes.
You try to shoot a fadeaway on him. It's not gonna
Jeff
work.
got him a couple times too. He blocked it.
He blocked like 3 times.
Yeah. And but he eventually figured it out too.
Yeah. Okay. Now for sorry not sorry.
Real quick though too, we got a player of the week for week 2.
Last week was Sweat, and we posted on Instagram.
Give you a big shout out, Sweat. I know you say you don't get enough credit. Give you a big shout out for being player of the week. Yes. And we'll be putting up player of the week for week 3 also coming up soon. But
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry not sorry. You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry not sorry. We have to go with sorry first, and unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news. Moment Friends, once again, gets nominated for Sorry Not Sorry. And like I said, I take no delight in doing this. Guys, just win, please. I don't like nominating the same team every week. At least if y'all are competitive, I'm not gonna nominate y'all as Sorry Not Sorry. I'm gonna put somebody else. I don't even care. I'll put anybody but y'all. But y'all lost by 22. You had a big addition to the team today, and you guys just look lackluster today.
Effort not there on defense.
Effort wasn't there. There's a lot of easy offensive rebounds, not boxing out, not closing out. Um, y'all let Eric do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying Eric's not a good player because he's a great player, but if you have to account for him, if you attack the snake, which is Eric, you got a better chance. And you guys just let him do what he wanted. He got comfortable. He's getting downhill. He's passing the ball, finding open guys, doing whatever he wants. So I don't know how you expect to win a game or even be competitive if you're going to allow Eric to dictate the pace and make plays for others. He wasn't even trying to score. He was just trying to get everybody else involved.
No.
And he probably had a 20-20 game.
Yeah. Yeah. He was awesome day. And like I'm at this point with more y'all might need to play zone, man. And not to be kind of coaching you guys and giving you some pointers, but
not a bad idea.
You guys
got all those bigs.
You got all those bigs. That way you won't have to match up. And I think that's been your biggest problem. You guys don't match up, man. Like guys are holding a different guy every single time down the floor, or guys aren't just getting back at all. So I just think that you probably should play zone because at least with a zone, you know you have to run to a spot. You know you have to get back on defense so you can be in your spot. So like, so there's no excuse. So people, you know who to blame now because that's what ends up happening is you end up blaming people like, man, when you're in a zone, like you know who's supposed to be in those spots.
Yeah.
So when
you already told me you got the middle.
Yeah.
So nope.
So yeah, ain't no blame. So yeah, when you're not back in your spot, yeah, it's on you. You know, so it'll help y'all with accountability as well instead of just having to point fingers at this person, that person. So I'm not saying the thing about I don't even like playing zone because I think it creates other issues. You know,
bad habits.
Yeah, just
losing sight of your zone, losing sight of your area.
Right.
If a guy's in your area, you're not necessarily completely locked in. You might be like, okay, I'm here, but not really guarding.
Right.
Just pull up on you.
Yeah, I've always felt like it gives people excuses not to play defense that they probably should play. But in you guys' case, I think you could be efficient enough offensively. But you guys have been god awful defensively. So I just feel like y'all have to have some kind of philosophy defensively. Okay, we ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna do that. Okay, y'all playing a way smaller team than y'all day. I'm pretty sure we will look at the rebounds.
Oh, it's bad. The disparity was bad.
I'm sure they out rebounded you guys.
Yeah.
By a lot. And you guys are way bigger than the team you played today.
Eric might out rebound y'all by himself.
So, and that's inexcusable, which lets me know that the effort is there and you're not defending usually when you do that. You know, so I think you guys are good enough. They're good enough, man.
Yeah.
If I looked at two teams, Dad would have said both friends would have won. But they just gotta kind of figure out something defensively. They gotta figure out what they're going to be defensively. So, on a lighter note, not sorry, is going to go to Chances for the beat down you put on board for us today.
Ironically,
they just look really good today, man. I think Crunch also had a very good win. Bullets ended up getting the win today. Also, who else won? And obviously the light work won there. So it obviously that could have gone to them, but I think light work had the most impressive win. Chances had the best win though, like in the sense of they did exactly what they were supposed to do today, especially coming off a loss where they didn't look very good at all. So I mean, like I say, Eric played out his mind. Ellis shot well. Box shot well. Mm-hmm. Jerry and Ty did what they did.
They was hooping.
You know, when you got all that kind of going all at one time, how are you gonna lose? You know, they're just gonna be chances play like they did today. They're gonna be hard to beat, and that's unfortunate for Moore and Frank. I think if Chances play how they played last week against Moore and Friends, it probably been a really good game.
So you're saying if Chances plays how they played last week, chances are.
See what you did there. You know, chances are that game today would have been close.
Yeah.
You know, and Moore and Friends might even pull the game out. So you know, and unfortunately, since they played the way they played last week, they came a little bit more motivated to play well today. And like we said, they'll never shoot the ball that game, Bach and Ellis. So they'll never shoot the ball that bad again. So shout out to them, man, for taking care of their business and, you know, being who they were today.
Okay, quickly, we're gonna do our grades. We're just gonna say the grade and move on.
Okay.
All right. Crunch All Stars.
A. I'm giving A.
A. Top Dogs.
C minus.
C plus. Bo and Friends. F.
I'm giving a D minus.
F. Chances.
C plus.
C plus as well. Light work.
D.
I think because of the win today, I think that's gonna help them pass. I give them a passing grade. I'll say they get a C minus. Hip hop and roll.
C plus.
B minus. Who's your daddy?
C.
I'll give them a C as well. And bullets. They get an A from me.
I'm gonna give them an A minus.
Okay.
I think they can be better. I think there are the elements to the game that can be better. I'm gonna give them an A minus.
Okay. Now, for our final topic of the night, we have our trending topic. We got Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. I'll be honest with you, Sean. This topic has been, quite the this has been quite the headline as far as the WNBA goes right now.
Right.
Now recently we had two analysts go at it back and forth. Even Cam Newton kind of chimed in and give his 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it's been a civil war of all kinds.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So I don't, I try not to bring race into. I try to keep it basketball, but there's probably some underlying racial issues, between these two. And me, like I said, when I look at the WNBA, I try to keep it on the basketball level. I don't want to include race or whatever. So if you're talking about pure basketball, there's two things that we can talk about in this situation. Okay, who has a bigger impact for their franchise? Obviously, it's Caitlin Clark. I actually have the Indiana Fever winning it all this year. I feel like everybody in the league has kind of been, has caught up to the Las Vegas Aces. New York is the defending champs. I don't think New York is going to repeat. I really don't. I think it's going to be Indiana's year, and I think Caitlin Clark is really about to take the league by storm. Are they going to WWE it? I don't know. They probably should. Get y'all bread up.
It's they're WWEing it in a way, in the sense of they made her supporting cast just way better this season.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that's by accident. Obviously, teams do stuff to get better, and it's a little bit easier to do as far as like free agency in the WNBA, because a lot of people just sign 1-year deals.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to do. But her supporting cast got a lot better. Whereas, you look at like Angel Reese's team in Chicago, they're like a real franchise who's rebuilding. You get your studs from the draft, and you kind of build.
You say you get your what?
You get your stud players from the draft.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And you kind of.
I thought you were saying something. My bad.
Stop it, man. You build basically with that, and that's what Chicago was Sky that they're doing. And I think they gotta stay healthy. I think that has a lot to do with it too. They gotta stay healthy, and so that game wasn't even close, which is why a lot of this talk about it. I'm just like, you're doing all this in a game that was never in question. And I think at this point, Indiana's the superior team.
And I think that's probably what made more insult to injury. The fact that they were getting blown out and Caitlin Clark shoved Angel Reese to the ground. It was kind of just like, an even bigger slap in the face. But, I mean, this dates back to last season. It dates back to college. This rivalry has been going on for a long time. That's why I think it's more of a WWE element. Okay, this is what's selling. This is what's getting us eyeballs, this rivalry. So let's publish. Let's make this thing big so we can get the fan base in, so people can pick a side, all those things. So I like what they're doing. Smart marketing, it really is. But is there real beef? I don't think there is, because every time it seems like they do an interview, they all say the same thing. Oh, it's just two competitors.
Yeah. I think Angel Reese probably competitively dislikes.
Oh, yeah, just not on a personal level.
Yeah, dislikes Caitlin Clark competitively. At least I would hope not. Yeah. And Kelly might not like Angel Reese competitively either, but she just doesn't say anything.
Right.
She just goes out there and hoop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it makes it so since she doesn't say anything,
you're just angry.
Yeah, it just doesn't make it. So it makes Angel Reese, I guess, look like the angry person when she kind of has some of her actions, because Caitlin doesn't say anything.
She never says anything.
She just hoops.
And she kills.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes it look bad. But I think I from Angel, because they do make her the villain. But I think
a lot of that attention on her.
But that's what I'm saying. I think on her end, and she's young. Yeah. But I think she really thinks about it. And again, this is why I think competitively she doesn't like Caitlin Clark. When she beat Caitlin Clark in college in the national championship game, it was 2 years ago, which is crazy. Time is flying by. Yeah. She beat Iowa in national championship game. She was the one that walked up to Caitlin and did the "you can't see me" thing, like, and she told us something about and she called it a H. Yeah. You know, and said some stuff to her. Was talking noise to her. Was big, and so and a lot of people felt some type of way about that.
They was mad.
And it kind of was unnecessary, but we're all basketball players. We all play. It's kind of the banter that only basketball players can understand sometimes, which is why we have some of the issues that we even have with Ultimate Hoops and basketball in general. You guys know, playing up here on Saturday, when they hear all that banter back and forth and don't realize that, you know, you guys actually like each other and talk to each other outside the gym. Right. You know what I'm saying? But when they walk in the gym, they looking at it like, oh my God, these hoodlums. Right. You know, and I think it's a little bit of that. It was a lot of that banter that she was going back and forth. So Angel has to realize that, like, she kind of did create that villain thing a little bit, because you were kind of picking on America's sweetheart in a moment, you know, where you had the advantage. Yeah. Come into the next season.
And now they hate you.
They hate you. And they end up as the defending champions. Iowa ends up kicking you out of the Final Four and beating you in the Final Four.
And the only thing that y'all could cling to is that they didn't win. Y'all won.
And even then, you kind of still like, I hope South Carolina beats them.
Yeah, it's just a loser mentality.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all lost to them.
And so now that follows, and it's kind of very Bird and Magic-esque how, and you know, that's
how they're playing it.
Yeah, they could say Bird and Magic saved the league, and it's the exact same thing kind of in a way. Only thing is now, neither one of them has won anything. You know, Magic won the championship his first year, and then Bird won it the next year. Both of them won it immediately coming out and took over the league. So I think if either one of them could get to a point where, you know, they start winning championships. Oh my God, if Angel Reese starts winning championships.
Oh, she's gonna be insufferable.
Oh my God, it's gonna be unreal.
And if Caitlin wins, her fans are gonna be insufferable. Not Caitlin.
Yeah, it is.
Caitlin gonna be like, yeah, great season.
Yeah, which has led to Ryan Clark and RG3 having the whole fallout, and you know, and that became racial. And I think even as two adult men, I understood both parts of it. I don't think Ryan Clark directly was trying to insult RG3's wife at all, but he, you know, you indirectly did bring her up.
He definitely did.
You know, you indirectly brought her up. So if now they come with some smoke about your wife and family, even though it was indirectly, you kind of got to be willing to take it.
But did you see what they said?
What
RG3 did?
What? The rebuff?
Yeah.
When he came back? Yeah. On Twitter?
The side by side with the pictures?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
So he had a picture of RG3.
I'm pretty sure Kevin's showing it right now.
Yeah, it's a picture of RG3, his woman, and
Ryan
Clark's woman. And said, I see why.
Yeah, I don't think RG3 did that. Somebody else did.
Somebody did. I'm saying the rebuttal.
Yeah, somebody else. It wasn't RG3, but yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
RG3 probably liked it.
Yeah, he probably did. and think about it, and I hate to do that because these women are getting brought into it, and they
didn't have nothing to do with it.
And think about it, I actually saw Ryan Clark's wife 20 years ago when he first got with her. She actually was a nice looking woman, but again, you know, 20 years.
She was though.
20 years. She's not a bad looking woman now. Let me put it that. She's not a bad looking woman now. She just isn't a supermodel anymore. Put it like that. She dropped a couple kids.
That's
I'm
fair.
sure.
That's fair.
She just had a couple kids. It is what it is, you know. Yeah. But she doesn't look terrible.
No, I'm not saying that.
But she does. If someone had to pick, they probably would think that RG3's wife currently looks probably better than his. Depending on
to each his own.
Yeah, to each his own. Depending on what you like.
Yeah.
Which is again messed up. But again, you made a whole lot of something out of nothing because you just don't agree about. RG3 kept it basketball, but he didn't because he said something personal that he didn't know.
Right.
So you're saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark.
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion. You can't really say that. You could say that, like what I said, she probably competitively doesn't like Caitlin Clark.
Right.
She does look at her as a rival competitively. But when you say she hates, when you know,
yeah,
and I think this is the part that Ryan Clark was talking about, when you know her fans are insufferable and they're nuts.
Yeah, and then
you're adding fuel.
Caitlin's fans,
right?
Both fans,
yeah,
are insufferable.
Yeah.
So you're adding fuel to the fire, like you said. It's just, and it really makes you seem like you picking a side, and you know what side I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So that's really where this is coming from.
Right. And then like
you on the other side. It's what it looks like.
And then that's when Ryan Clark brought up the thing about him having the white. White was just like, yo, I get exactly what he was trying to say.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
But yeah, when you do that, hey, you gotta expect some smoke back. Yeah. So
it was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. He could have definitely worded that differently. But even though I knew exactly what he was saying, when he said it, but he definitely could have left it alone. But again, you know what that really is about though? Probably. What? He probably really don't like RG3.
No, he doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. And you know what? I'd have to fact check this. Did they play together? Because Ryan Clark he was with them. He was with Washington.
Yeah, so he was saying that he was a terrible teammate.
Yeah.
So that might have been like one of Ryan Clark's final seasons when RG3.
He probably. I want to say he came when RG3 was leaving.
That's what I think it was.
The last year he was.
So somewhere between that 2012,
because he played with Kirk Cousins, right?
Yes. So, yeah. Kirk Cousins took his position.
Yeah.
So
that's probably what it was.
Yeah. He was saying that he's a terrible teammate. So, anyways, but yeah,
I bet you. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say
dude's terrible, man.
His favorite movie is probably Get Out. Anyway, episode 266 in the book. We're gonna be at week 5 next time. We see you guys, and again, we got another nice matchup. I know Lightwork is playing the Bullets.
Yeah,
that should be a good one. I got that one highlighted. I'm not sure about the rest, but that's one that I saw that I'm really, really interested in.
Lightwork taking down some big guys, possibly.
Yeah, if they win back-to-back 2 quality wins.
Yeah, because hip hop.
They're gonna be on the rise for sure.
Yeah. So we shall see, man.
All right. Episode 266 in the book, live from Cyprus. I'm Johnny Gill.
Sean Ellis.
We're out of here.